I didn't really mind what the answer was, since I was going back to bed in any case. I was technically at rest, which meant I'd got another 21 days before they could sign me up again and send me out. And I was going to spend at least a week at Norfolk, wallowing in the luxury of sauna baths and Swedish massage and meditation, to bring the nerves down to their normal pitch, plus a bit of refresher training with Kimura Sensei in the dojo, and some close combat work to get the reflexes back in tune. "They're holding a board open," Tilson said on the phone. "And they've brought Dawson in from Paris. He knows the kind of signals we're liable to get from Hong Kong." No way. Not Hong Kong. Norfolk. There was a drunk down there in the street, tottering with tremendous care along the pavement, holding onto the railings for a bit, and then shoving off again. Tilson cupped the phone and said, "Are you still under any kind of treatment?" "Yes." "What for?" "Shark bite." "What's your condition?" "Look," I said, "we've got to talk." Tilson took his hand away from the mouthpiece. "Yes, but I'll tell him the situation, or leave it to Mr. Hyde." The drunk was on course 45 degrees in error, and when his foot slipped off the curb, he went down like a felled tree and lay with his head in the gutter. "No," Tilson said. "It began as a simple request for asylum." I went across to the desk and picked up one of the other phones and pressed 9 and got the dial tone and pressed 999 and told them. Someone looked in at the door and Tilson shook his head and they went out again. "I don't frankly know. We got it from MI6. They said they don't want to touch it." "It's too far away," I said into the phone, "to see if he's bleeding, but he's going to get his head run over if he stays where he is." Another phone started ringing, and Tilson picked it up. "He's not here." 50 yards north of the cenotaph," I said. "Well, let me deal with what's going on at this end, and then I'll get back to you, or someone will." Tilson put the phone down. "A minute ago," I said. "My pleasure." "Who's that?" Tilson asked me. "Drunk down there. Just reporting it." His eyes took on a stare. "Down where?" "The thing is," I told him, "I got back precisely 10 days ago, and my nerves feel like barbed wire and the dressings are still being changed every day. Shall I spell that?" Tilson leaned back in the chair and levelled his eyes. "I quite understand, but you don't even want to know the score?" And he waited. In a minute I said, "You really are a bastard." We could hear a siren cut in and die away again as a police car came around Parliament Square into Whitehall, heading for the cenotaph. "I can't tell you much," Tilson said, "because they slapped your ears only on this thing the minute it started coming in. But you're not the only one they got out of bed, and Mr. Shepley himself has been alerted, so it's just conceivable that if they're going to pick you as the shadow executive, you won't let the odd shark bite get in the way." "It's the nerves," I said. "More than that. In an ideal world, you could come off a mission and get a few nights' sleep and drink lots of Synatogen and see Deirdre or someone and report back for work, but the Caribbean thing had been very busy, and the whole organism still felt tender." "It's Hong Kong, is it?" "That area." "Who's available for the DIF? If they could give me a really first-class director in the field, it could make a difference." "I'd have to check on that, but if you—" He broke off as the door opened again, and Hyde came in. "Did they alert Mr. Shepley?" "Yes, sir." "Is he on his way?" "He just said he'd monitor his phone." "All right." Hyde gave me a nod and stood for a minute, looking around him at nothing at all, his large head tilted back and his tongue poking at his cheek, his big hands hanging by his sides and his feet splayed a little to support his weight. He didn't react when a phone rang, and Tilson took it and told them he wanted priority calls only from now on, and put the receiver back. Hyde was in a dinner jacket. I suppose they had beeped him at a nightclub or somewhere. He went on looking around him while he thought things over. Then he brought his head down and told Tilson, "This is where the focus is, until we can open up the boredom there. Can you handle it?" Tilson said yes, and Hyde turned to look at me. "You're resting," they said.